Okay, let's build this slab flattening system. First thing we gotta do is put the outside rails on, connect two of them with these things. And that gets the two outside rails on, and now we can move on to the sled assembly. Okay, now we can get these cross rails on, and these two base plates that go on. One on this side, one on that side. Okay, now we can flip this over and set it on the tracks. We put the router carriage on. And now I've already gone down one side here and used these brackets to fasten this one base rail down. And now using the sled, I can line up the other side so that it runs exactly parallel and then tighten it down onto these 3x3s. Okay, now we got these four knobs. Two of them go on this base rail to put limits on how far the sled can travel, and two of them go up top here where the router goes, and it will set limits on how far the router can travel. So we'll just slide it right in here and tighten it down. That'll stop it from traveling too far or falling off the end. And same thing here, this one will stop the router from traveling too far or making the bit hit your rail on the bottom. And then we've got these two here, and they go here and here and allow you to lock down movement in both directions. So once you set your router in the spot that you want it to travel, you can lock it down, make one pass, then make another adjustment, make another pass, and the router won't move on you while you're cutting. Okay, and now to mount the router in. We're gonna take this piece of plexiglass that comes with the system. You'll put it right over top of all the screw holes. And you'll take your router and center it over this hole right here that isn't all the way cut out yet. And you'll find a spot where the bit is centered and the router can travel up and down and not hit the sides. Like if it's here, obviously it's not gonna work. So you wanna twist it a bit and make it so that you can easily access all the features of the router. Find out where it's centered, then you'll take a marker and trace out the base of your router. Then you'll take the base plate off your router and put it right on top of your lines. And then with your marker, mark where all those screw holes are. And then come over to the drill press and drill them out. Then you can come put it back on your router and screw everything in place. And then sit it right back down in the carriage. Now over on this side here, we also have to put on this piece and whichever dust collection port you need for your vacuum. Before we mount the router in, we need to flip it over and put the dust collection brushes on. So right here, you just pull out these pins. And if you look closely right down here, you'll see there's some springs on either side. So you'll take one of the long ones first, you'll slide it all the way in against that spring. You'll take the two short ones, slide them into their slot. Then you take the other long one, and it's gonna slide in and hit that string, and both of them travel past these short ones. So the short ones are locked in by the long ones. The long ones have pressure against the spring. Then you'll push against the spring and lock these little clips back in place. And then it's all solid and can't go anywhere. Now we can mount it back up on top of these cross rails and slide the router down over these screws. And then we'll use these little wing nuts to tighten it down in place. Okay, and now we mount the push stick. This little swivel elbow attaches on right down here, and then the push stick attaches to the top of the elbow. And that allows me to push the router back and forth across the workpiece. Obviously, if I was trying to just do it by my hands, I would max out about partway through and have to climb up on top or put the whole thing on the ground or something like that. And there we go. Now I'm ready to flatten some big slabs.